There are statements from Putin regarding the United States. He says Russia is ready to offer the opportunity to work together with America in the field of rare earth elements. So, they are talking about the issue they want to address with Ukraine. Perhaps it wouldn't be surprising if this happens soon. If Putin says, in the areas Russia will annex, namely in the Donbass region, we will sell you the elements, because it seems like he has no intention of leaving there, and there is no shortage of resources there, such an agreement might follow. Additionally, they might also offer to sell those from their own territories, of course. Putin also says that American President Trump is acting in accordance with Ukraine's interests in the peace negotiations.
With the inauguration of U.S. President Donald Trump, the diplomatic barriers between the U.S. and Russia were dismantled. While Trump repeatedly stated that he would meet face-to-face with Putin at every opportunity, a proposal for cooperation came from Putin to the U.S. Speaking to Russia 24, the Russian state channel, Putin invited the U.S. to collaborate on rare minerals. He noted that these resources are more abundant than those in Ukraine. He also spoke about Trump's plan to reduce defense spending between Russia and the U.S. He expressed that the mutual 50% reduction in defense budgets with the U.S. is a good idea. He mentioned that China could join later if it wishes. Putin stated that Trump wanted peace in Ukraine. He said that during the negotiations, Trump acted according to Ukraine's interests, not Russia's. He also inferred that European officials were unaware of the developments in Ukraine. He mentioned that Europeans made too many promises, and now it is very difficult for them to distance themselves from this approach without any losses.
Sir, we are discussing the Russia-Ukraine war. For over 3 years, and now suddenly, as if it were about to end, Russia and America are acting as if they are experiencing their most amicable times. They are making statements. So how did we get here? What happened on this front between Ukraine and Russia that led to what we are experiencing now? He asked Mesut Hakachash, a prominent figure closely following the issue. Let's watch Irem Chetinkayan's special report.
Perhaps no one could have predicted at the start that the Russia-Ukraine war would stretch over years, but 3 years have now passed. Ukrainian cities were bombarded with long-range missiles. Hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives or were displaced. In the span of 3 years, developments that could change the course of the war certainly occurred, yet a solution that could push the Russia-Ukraine front towards peace has still not been found. During this period, the most significant development was Donald Trump taking the presidential seat in the United States. Ukraine's military ties with America have rapidly weakened since Donald Trump returned to the White House. So, will the anticipated peace come in the 4th year of the Russia-Ukraine war? How will Ukraine's policy change with the new president of the United States?
President Trump's administration's first month of transition, but we see a complete turnaround. Why do I emphasize this complete turnaround? The Biden administration held meetings with Europeans 180 times. Why? To provide weapons to Ukraine, money. And with this military aid, we planned to defeat Russia, but they couldn't.
At the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine war, Putin's goal was to take Kiev and establish a government loyal to Russia. However, later the Kursk front and North Korea got involved in the war. Subsequently, the Biden administration's permission for the use of long-range missiles further escalated the tension.
When you look at it, although the war seems to be between Russia and Ukraine, it is actually between Russia and the United States. I would like to emphasize this point. In particular, the Biden administration practically incited Russia to use military force against Ukraine in some way.
With Donald Trump, the role of the United States in the Russia-Ukraine war also changed. Donald Trump's meeting with Putin and trying to pressure Ukraine in some way was also an indicator of the new Ukraine policy.
According to Trump, Zelensky's team wants to get rid of him and describes him as an uncooperative dictator who doesn't go to elections. We see that he pressures Kiev with some blackmail and threats that if he doesn't act quickly, he will be left with no country to govern.
So what does Donald Trump want from Ukraine to end the war?
The Trump side wants American companies to manage Ukraine's mineral resources if Ukraine agrees, as Trump claims, it is considered to exchange this money with these mines in return for the billion-dollar aid.
Why does Donald Trump want Ukraine's mineral resources? Is the main goal of the United States to use Ukraine against China?
The diplomatic military market of America and Russia is not Ukraine. I think it is of new European origin, and I can only speak of a policy of turning clientship against China as the target.